Hello everybody, this is B&S Theories, and today we're coming at you with our take on the whole clown sightings thing that's going on across the world.
Yeah, this is a new sort of development that, everybody's heard about it in the news. It's all over everywhere. You practically can't go on the internet without seeing some sort of article pertaining to this clown sighting incident thing. It's widespread. It's all over the country. And we, like he said, we have a theory that it's more than just clown sightings, but we'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah,
right?
Basically the whole background for this is like, if you already don't know about it, it's just in a lot of the big cities around America, there's been sightings of just clowns with like weapons and stuff like that, scaring people, and there's also been deaths recorded and stuff like that people try to correlate between the two, but there's been no actual evidence supporting that they actually killed anyone yet.
Yes. So I think we should first, refer back to this whole clown sighting thing began in South Carolina. And remember this, please, because we will tie it back to the South Carolina sighting later in the video. Consequently, after that sighting, more sightings began to crop up all over America until this point where you even get sightings in other countries across the seas and stuff like that.
Yeah, in America, this started in South Carolina, then there was some in like Chicago, there was some in like Detroit, there's quite a few in Florida.
Yeah,
stuff like that. And then in other countries, there's stuff in Australia, Norway, Denmark. It's just everywhere at this point.
Yeah. You can even see anti-clown groups cropping up in campuses. This is not a small issue. It even has its own Wikipedia page. And this is not an invisible issue either to the economy, because this is affecting not only the clown industry, but McDonald's themselves have decided to retract ads featuring Ronald McDonald during this sort of trying time, I suppose.
Yeah.
And remember this as well, because this is also another point, the McDonald's and the clown industry point.
Yes.
So why?
Why? Well, have an open mind about this, because that's what we have, and it makes sense.
There's other
surprising.
Theories. There's other theories as well.
Yeah, we have stuff where people think that it's like all a big marketing scheme for the upcoming It remake, stuff like that. But we think it goes a lot bigger than that, because it seems like it just doesn't really make a lot of sense.
There are a lot of little connections and details that I think are a little more than just a marketing scheme.
Yeah, because I guess that theory is not entirely untrue because of how crazy the media is taking this and everything like that.
Yes, and when you look at some of the clown sightings, I do not necessarily believe that all of these pertain to our theory.
Yes.
Because there's also the media craze, and so kids will see it on the TV and then they'll want to do it themselves.
It's just kind of like psychological subconscious manipulation and stuff like that. It just kind of gets into people's heads. That's kind of what the basis of our theory is.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's once again take it back to the beginning. I'm sure you all remember Michelle Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Obama, and stay with me on this. This is going to sound kind of far-fetched, but
open mind.
Being the first lady is not an unstressful job. Barack himself is. You've seen the pictures of before and after Barack in his presidency.
Mm-hmm. Like how 8 years have been very trying to his health, and the whole change in the color of his hair, and how he started to smoke and stuff like that.
People, it's a stressful job, and there are some things that Barack just doesn't have time for anymore.
Yes, and we think that Michelle is one of those things.
Michelle is one of those things. Yes, exactly. And I think Donald Trump might have cued himself into this somehow. Now, we're not entirely sure how he figured this out. It could just be some intuition, maybe he has inside information. We don't know. But the point is, Donald Trump reached out to Michelle Obama.
Yeah, and a time of severe, distress for her and stuff like that. She was in a dark space, or dark place, sort of.
So Donald Trump swoops in, sort of saves the day for her.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, if you know what we're talking about here.
He gives her what Barack isn't able to anymore.
Yes.
Sort of.
But not without a cost.
So
not without
speculate.
A cost.
Yes.
Yeah, Donald Trump, he needs a special political atmosphere in order for his campaign to work, and it's one of paranoia. That's like his big thing. When the media is hyping this stuff up, you create a sense of paranoia in the country, and when there's paranoia in the country, that's when Donald Trump does excessively well, because he divides people so well.
Just to give you an idea of this, I work till past 1 a.m. sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like scared to walk home from work because of stuff like this. It's just very weird. It's stuff you shouldn't have to worry about, but we think that like it ties into Trump's whole thing because it's working on me.
So what Michelle Obama does in order to pay back Donald Trump is she pulls some strings in the police, in Hollywood, and even like in the media.
Yes.
In the media, because the media is the key proponent in this.
Yeah, big social outlet that you get, things on Facebook, things on YouTube, things on Instagram, everything about it.
Yeah, and she decides to drive this fear through clowns in America. Donald Trump wanted fear, and she's giving him fear in the country. And this is through clowns. And this isn't without her own agenda as well.
Yes.
She's always been, from the beginning of her, political career as the First Lady, she's always been an active
health
advocate.
enthusiast.
Yeah.
Very against childhood obesity, which makes sense, but she's, the whole thing towards changing school lunches and trying to get kids not to eat at McDonald's and stuff like that.
Yeah, McDonald's has
which
been...
we tie in specifically.
Exactly. McDonald's, and it's also getting kids off their phones while they're walking home at night. They're more aware of their surroundings.
Yeah.
This is another thing that she wanted kids to do. They wanted to be more active. She wanted these kids to be more aware of what's going on in the world around them.
Witness testimonies of people saying that they ran. They literally saw these things and they ran.
Yeah.
And if that's kind of like direct correlation towards a change in physical activity. You use the paranoia you're driving into people to support Trump as a reason for people to get off their phones, focus on what's around them, and just run and bring their heart rate up, burn some calories, stuff like that. All of what she stood for throughout her husband's entire presidency.
Yeah, exactly. And now you may be wondering why. Why does Donald Trump want this presidency? Now we're going to get to this.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we have an idea that what Trump is trying to do is open-minded. It sounds like he's trying to start another civil war, basically. And trust us on this, because it started in South Carolina, which
was the state. South Carolina was the state that whole Confederate flag thing happened. The Confederate flag controversy, where some government building was flying a Confederate flag, and there were people, trying to take it down,
Yes.
stuff like that. It eventually was taken down, but there was still a sort of social cost to the community around it. There were these people who were angry and divided over this situation. It might have sparked some feelings towards, the South. The South rises again. I was driving up towards Atlanta this summer, and I saw a billboard that said #secede. They basically want to secede from the United States. There's still these people out there that still want to do this.
And why does South Carolina toting the Confederate flag matter? Well, as we said earlier, the first sighting was in South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's where the first encounter with these clowns was, in a city in South Carolina, and that's kind of a direct correlation to what we're talking about.
Yeah, Trump is dividing the country ideologically. This is one of the most divisive presidential elections that has been recorded at this point. It's such a weird and out of proportion presidential election. Both of them are just going at each other. It's almost to a point of chaos. We're getting more and more.
That's why we honestly don't think that this theory is very far-fetched, just because of how crazy the views of both the supporters and the candidates themselves are, and how dividing they are, and the measures that the candidates will go towards their own support due to how dividing it is.
Yeah, even within the government, within the Republican Party itself, Donald Trump has split that party itself. Lots of the Republican officials are against Donald Trump, but others are for him. Stuff like that. So basically, the government is splitting. He's basically splitting the government, and once the government has been split, this is an open window, an open opportunity for a separate country to be created. For the United States of America to split into two countries.
Yes, which is the whole secession thing we're talking about. Yes. And the way that we think it works is first of all, there's the fact that how split that people are in their political views according to this election. But if you take that and then you drive paranoia into the minds of everybody, not just those that support Trump's views, then you get the whole psychological manipulation into people siding with him, even if they originally sided with the opposite party or just another third party, because now they have his overall, tactic, his scare tactic driven into their minds, even if they didn't have that before because they didn't believe him. But now these are like real popular social media popular things that even could affect people's families, children, loved ones, stuff like that. And now it's just in everybody's head.
Yep.
So what all this means is that, like, in conclusion, we think that Michelle Obama, driven to sexual frustration by her busy husband, turns to Trump. Because Trump knows how she felt, or, he at least has some sort of context, or at least we think, that's what we speculate, because it just kind of makes sense. Now she's in this debt. She has to pay him back somehow for him helping her. And because this, what started as an instinctual love affair, caused the creation of an election-based scheme towards the subconscious support of Trump. And what Trump does to do this is he uses very divisive rhetoric in favor of his overall collapse of the political system, driving our country towards total divide. And now because of this, we have no choice but to be driven towards a second civil war because of how divisive his means of payment are. So just, like I said, open mind, keep your minds open to everything we said, because as far-fetched as it seems, if you really think about it, it's really not that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's completely possible, stuff like that.
There's so many things in this world that may sound crazy, sound like something that some insane person on the side of the street would say.
Like dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, crazy. I mean, we might even make a video about that later, but we'll see. We'll get back to you on that one. The point we're trying to make is that there's a lot of connections from this clown sighting thing to the current political atmosphere, the current political climate in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just a sort of craze. We think it is honestly a conspiracy against the American people to divide us and to create a second civil war.
Mm-hmm. We gave you a good amount of reason to believe us.
Yes.
I mean, our stuff, it's not wrong. I mean, the speculation is completely just speculation, of course. We can't prove anything, but I mean, the Big Bang. I'm just saying that. All right, so anyways, just keep your minds open to this. Tell your friends about it. It's a good conversation starter.
Definitely.
Show other people the video. Be like, hey, what do you think about this? It's a really good conversation starter. We talked about it for 40 minutes before getting into this, just as a common thing before we had the idea of going in and making a video about it. So thank you all for watching.
Subscribe, comment, like.
Click that thumb.
Let us know what you think. If
Definitely. Give us some of your take. Give me your...
Give us some feedback. Tell us if you've got any ideas of your own, or if you've found out anything recently about the clown sightings, or about the election that might seem kind of fishy to you, like that kind of thing. And
this could affect your loved ones, so don't be afraid to share it on social media and stuff like that, because it definitely pertains to you want
to let people know about this, because I don't think it's right for the government to be lying to us like this.
Definitely.
I think everybody deserves to know the truth.
Tying into the way that the police do their work, because if you think about it, the only ones that haven't been caught are the ones in America. The ones in other countries, we have a specific case where in Norway, two kids, two posers, were trying to do what the organized system American clowns are doing, but they're just amateurs, they're just posers, so they ended up getting caught by the police force.
Yes.
When in America we have a clown that was able to escape police on foot. Two trained police officers weren't able to catch this clown actor because of whatever reason. We think it's because of Michelle's ties into the police system.
The police was paid not to catch this clown,
and they came out and talked about it just as a way to ease suspicion.
Yes.
Like how Michelle talks about how much she hates Trump and to vote for Hillary. That's just a way to space herself to completely eliminate any sort of suspicion towards this whole situation to begin with. That's why.
Yep. It's just how Trump wants it too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. All right. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on another B&S Theories video.
Yep.
Have a good night.